Alright, it's time to test some hand loads, and what I have today are 38 special, and I loaded them up with these 170 grain cast lead semi-wad cutters. They were cast by Lead Bullets for Life, and he sent all kinds of projectiles to me. He sent some 44 caliber, some 357 diameter, 131 grain bullets. He sent these Super Police projectiles in the past, but what we're testing today is the 170 grain cast lead semi-wad cutter. And I loaded them up with 3.2 grains of tight group powder into 38 special cases. And what we're trying to do is see what the difference is in point of aim, point of impact, because oftentimes I have a little bit of a trouble getting my 342 PD to hit point of aim, point of impact. It always shoots really, really low. And what we're trying to do here is get a projectile heavy enough that it's going to kind of cause the muzzle to kind of recoil up as it leaves the muzzle and try to hit more point of aim, point of impact. But we don't want it to do so much that when I shoot it through a 4-inch barrel, it's not going to hit point of aim, point of impact. So trying to get that good balancing act is a little bit difficult, but what we're going to do is go out, we're going to shoot these cartridges, we're going to run them through the chronograph and see how they run. I'm going to run them through some water jugs, and then we'll see how they hit on paper. So let's get started. Now let's see how the 170 grain lead semi-wad cutter bullets compare out of this. I have 3.2 grains of tight grip. They should be a very low velocity, but we'll see what we get out of the 4-inch barrel. And here's the Lead Bullets for Life 170 grain lead semi-wad cutters with 3.2 grains of tight group. 716, 709, 732, 722, 741. Very consistent velocity. All right, out of the snub nose, the 170 grain bullets. 686. Ain't that funny? 675. 634. 669. 662. Very consistent velocities. This is one of the most consistent velocities I've ever had with any one given bullet weight out of 2 different barrel lengths. So 3.2 grains of tight group coupled with Lead Bullets for Life 170 grain bullet is a very good combination. We're getting pretty much what I would expect to get out of that. Recoil is almost none, much less than even the 200 grain Super Police load. So got a good combination of power to recoil. So we'll see what happens when we compare it against targets, see what kind of point of impact we get, if there's a difference between the 2-inch and the 4-inch barrel. Alright, I'm exactly from 10 yards with these 170 grain lead semi-wad cutter rounds. I'm going to fire double action in both the 686 and the 342 PD to try to keep it as fair as possible. And we'll see what kind of points of impact we get from 10 yards and double action with both with these rounds. So first up, I'm going to do the 686. I'm going to go for just mid body right in the center on that target. So here we go. Right, they're all a little bit high. I'm just kind of popping them off. Now we'll try the 342 PD and see how that shoots, because that normally shoots very low for me. So maybe we'll get a better point of impact with these rounds in the snub nose. All right, here's the 342 PD. See what we get. Alright, I got a few that are high, but 2 of them are right in the center there. Kind of just getting warmed up, so I'm going to keep firing some through these guns and see if I can kind of tighten up my groups a little bit. And then we'll go for headshots and see when I'm warmed up, what kind of points of impact are we getting then. Alright, here's attempt 2 with the 686.
Alright, let's try this 342 now. Alright, definitely not shooting low. Alright, now I'm warmed up a little bit. Now I'm going to slow it down and try to stage the trigger as best I can. Go for some headshots. See what kind of accuracy I'm getting now. Alright, I'll slow it down a little bit. Try to stage the trigger just a little bit more. Try to really place some headshots the best I can from 10 yards. 686 first. This trigger's getting away from me. It's so much smoother than my 342. I'm going to do the rest in single action. It's kind of hard switching back and forth with a different trigger pull. So I'm going to try single action, see if I can hit some right on that spot. Alright, a couple of them got away from me, but the group that I was grouping was pretty good. You know, I got 4 in an area about that big. I guess for 10 yards that's not bad, but we'll see how the 342 does. See if I can group them anywhere on that headshot area. Yeah, a little bit, way too much to the left. Did it again. That's interesting. Same hole. Interesting. I think it might be a time to actually take this gun into a gunsmith. I don't see anything on the forcing cone like sheared lead, but on the left side of the forcing cone on the frame, there's a little bit more powder, and I don't know if I want to call it leading. It's slightly different. So I kind of suspect maybe something's a little off. Another thing I did do, I forgot to point this out, is, you know, when I had those ARX rounds fragmenting, I actually cleaned this gun really well, and then I was dropping 357 diameter that I confirmed to 357 through the chambers. And on one of the chambers, it would not drop clean through, even when it was perfectly clean. Even when I cleaned it with a 380 diameter, 380 diameter brush, cleaned it, scrubbed it, it would still get stuck. It doesn't explain why I would get the first and last shot or 2 shots in a row, which would indicate 2 chambers next to each other having being off, but it does say that might be part of one of the reasons. And I don't think this is off time, but it's a good time to take it and have it checked out, because it shouldn't be drooping to the left like that. That's a little bit odd. But overall, these rounds seem to be very consistent as far as their power levels and everything. But as customary, I'm going to launch some off at a little bit longer range and see if I get any hits on target. I'll use the 686 since I'm a little weary of this revolver at the moment. And we'll see if I can hit my little steel tank out there. It looks like it's about 45 yards. I'll confirm that distance as I walk by. Try to see how many paces it is. So let's try that. Alright, it's 45 big paces, so about 45 yards, 45 to 50. When I did the 10-yard test on paper, though, I did confirm it with my high-tech measuring device. I'm going to do single action from about 45 yards with these rounds. I'm going to have to aim a little bit low, I would think, considering they were kind of hitting high on paper. So 45 yards, see if we can get it. I'll aim right at the base of that tank. Single action. Look, it hit kind of high. Well, I didn't have that set up very good. I see where it's at, I hit the bottom of it. Ooh, I grazed that one. I saw the bullet go off about 50 yards the other way and hit some leaves. All right, here's the 170 grain lead semi-wad cutter. All right, got a nice clean hit. And we got the lead semi-wad cutter effect going on in the first jug, where we cut a perfectly clean hole through it. That's pretty cool. And we got a straight pass through every jug. And the point of impact on the back of the sixth jug is pretty much identical to the point of impact on the first jug. So we hit and we just went clean on through to the other side. So a lot of penetration with that, but we were cutting a clean hole the whole time. And that's kind of where you get the lead semi-wad cutter, what it's kind of intended to be. It's a good target load, but also it's got the point on it, and the point will aid in penetration. Yet the semi-wad cutter on the outside will also cut through everything that's going through. That's why it's been known as a really good hunting round, because it cuts everything as it goes, but it still has that little bit of a tip that will keep pushing through with penetration. Lead Bullets for Life also sent me some of these 131 grain bullets. He labeled them as 9mm bullets, but they were 357 diameter, so I thought that's about the right weight range for making my 38 short Colts, aka 38 special short. That's technically what they are. I did about 2.7 grains of tight group, I believe, and I was able to resize them and deprime them with the 38 special die, but the seating could not be done with the 38 special, so I had to do it with the 9mm die. So they don't have any crimp on them, so I'm just going to fire them one at a time rather than loading the cylinder up and see what kind of velocity we get out of these. It'd be interesting to see what kind of velocity something like this would get. Probably in the 500 range. Let's see. All right, we're from about 5 yards with these. I'm going to shoot right to the chronograph, see what we get. Laugh with me, not at me. That's funny. Wow. Some of that powder didn't burn. My gun's clear, I gotta blow this out. Folks, we might get a squib, I hope not, but if I do, they're lead. Easy to knock out. Oh man. Don't make these and use them for self-defense, you'll just make your attacker mad. It's not good. It's not looking any better for me here. We got one left. I don't think that one read. Yeah, this is not burning the powder. So probably they're not seated enough. There's a lot of unburnt powder. It's kind of yellow. Interesting, to say the least. I don't think my 686 was any overpressuring danger by this video, but by this test of this ammunition anyways. So that's a laughable moment in hand loading. 183 feet per second on one of those. I think a pellet gun might have a little better energy than that. So overall, these cartridges are really good cartridges. Maybe not so much for my 342. I have to have that gun looked at. But the ones that were the initial rounds were a little bit better point of aim and impact than the other, but a little bit too much. So maybe 160 grain or maybe even a 158 grain loaded a certain way would probably put me right on point of aim, point of impact on that. But we'll have to get my gun looked at. And by the way, I do plan on getting like a Taurus 605. I know, Taurus, I don't like Taurus, but for future tests, I'm going to get one of those and do some Magnum tests and stuff like that. So that's what I'm getting today with these lead bullets for life bullets. That was actually, seems like about the perfect charge to start with. Might not even have to go up or down from there. That was very consistent velocities that we were getting with both the 4-inch and the snub nose barrel. Very consistent, more than most. So that's what I'm getting today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching. And a special thanks to Lead Bullets for Life. Go check out his channel. I'll put a link below. So again, thanks for watching.